everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. This is my late, out of date review of the 2017 Arena Football game between the Philadelphia Soul and the Tampa Bay Storm. I wanted to review the 8 o'clock showing, but I accidentally slept through that and woke up at the 12 o'clock and woke up in between the 12 o'clock showing. I'm going to be reviewing a couple of the stats on the Arena Football League's website to talk about some of this, to talk about the stuff I miss and several things that happened in between the games. See, I love watching and reviewing football. The problem I have with watching and reviewing football is that, see, unlike wrestling and combat sports, see, those fights are usually only 10 10 to 20 minutes. Sometimes wrestling matches are longer. And while I don't remember every um, move in the fight, I remember at least the story and the spots and certain spots of the fight. Here in football, they in football and in various other team or ball sports, they play for various periods. They play for 3 to 4 periods, and it's hard to remember every single damn play in the game. It's hard to remember every single damn play. When it comes to football, I prefer to watch highlights. Even that's still kind of hard sometimes, but I prefer to watch highlights of the games. Only problem I have with highlights, you miss a lot of cool plays. This is the cool part about watching live, but the periods are so long and they sometimes just drags, and that's the problem I always had with watching and reviewing football. But I've always wanted to review football and various other sports, and this is my second Arena Football League review. However, this is my first review of this 2017 season. I did a review of the Arena Bowl from 2015 between the San Jose SaberCats and the Jacksonville Sharks. But this is my review of the first game of the season. This is the first game of this season I saw. I accidentally missed the first 3 games of this season. I thought they started in late April, but no, they started in early April, and I missed the new team, the Washington Valor. I miss seeing them play. I can't wait till 2 to 3 weeks later where they get to play again. You got a lot of awesome games coming up. But right now, Philadelphia Soul and Tampa Bay Storm. I was going for the Philadelphia Soul. I like both teams, but I was going for the Philadelphia Soul. And as I predicted, they won. They won, but it was a back and forth game that could have went either way, and it went the Philadelphia Soul's way because of a touchdown that was ruled incomplete in Philadelphia's favor, went in Philadelphia's favor and it caused Tampa Bay Storm the game and caused the Philadelphia Soul to win the game. This is a game I would love to see again down the road before the Arena Bowl, because as awesome as the game was, it was extremely competitive. It could have went either way. It was going back and forth. It was going back and forth. No team maintained the lead for neither team maintained the lead for that long, and that's one of the things I love about Arena Football. See, Arena Football, since they play in smaller arenas, it's easier to score touchdowns. It's easier and faster to score touchdowns versus versus NFL football where they play in giant stadiums with giant fields where it's harder to score touchdowns. It's harder to score touchdowns, and even when you do, and it's harder to score touchdowns. And one thing I like about Arena Football, just because a team leads doesn't mean that team is going to win. It's extremely competitive. It's more competitive due to the smaller arena versus NFL, where usually the team that starts is usually going to win. There have been exceptions, such as this year's Super Bowl, for instance. Patriots were down 25. They came back in the third. They came back in the second and third period and tied the game, and in the fourth went into overtime, and James White scored the winning touchdown for the New England Patriots. That happened. But stuff like that happens all the time here. That happens all the time here. And well, I'm going to talk about this game first, and I'm going to talk more about the Arena Football League. Give my thoughts on the Arena Football League as a whole this year. But with that being said, let's talk about this game. So, like I said, the Philadelphia Soul won as I predicted. But it went back and forth. The Philadelphia Soul They started off. They started off when 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 Ryan when Dan Radaba, the quarterback, the leading quarterback for the Philadelphia Soul, he passed the ball. He passed the ball to Ryan McDaniel. Ryan McDaniel, who scored a 19-yard touchdown. Who scored a 19-yard touchdown to bring the score up to 6 to get the lead. They missed the field goal, so they didn't get the extra point. So it started off 6-0. Then Randy Hipper, Randy Hipper, the leading quarterback for the Tampa Bay Storm, passed the ball to Lamarck Brown for the for a six, and Lamarck Brown scored a 6-yard touchdown to bring the score up to 6. Then Mark Lewis scored a field goal. He actually succeeded at the field goal to bring it up to 7. So right there, this is what I was talking about. The Philadelphia Soul, they immediately scored the first touchdown, getting the first 6 points, but they missed their field goal, and Tampa Bay Storm scored a touchdown, then got their field goal, bring it up to 7. So now it's 6-7, 6-7. Then Dan Radaba passed the ball to Chris DeVault, who scored a 27-yard touchdown to bring the score up to 13. And this time, Adrian Trevino actually scored the field goal, bringing it up to 13, bringing the score up to 13. Of course, DeVault's touchdown brought it to 12, and Adrian Trevino's field goal brought it up to 13. So yeah, then from the Tampa Bay Storm, Kendrick Ing scored a 55-yard touchdown to bring the score up to 13, to bring the score up to 12. Then yeah, I was right. Yeah, bring it up to 13. Mark Lewis, he failed his field goal, so now it's even. Then Philadelphia Soul. See, like I said, neither team maintains the lead for long. See, now it's even. Then Philadelphia Soul, they score another touchdown, bringing the score up to 19. Then Trevino scored his field goal, bringing it up to 20. Then of course Tampa Bay Storm, they catch up. They catch up when oh yeah, this was one of the memorable plays. They catch up when Dan Rudaba tosses the ball to one of his teammates, but um um but Mark Lewis, he intercepts the ball. And takes it back to his home turf to score a touchdown, bringing it up to 19. So now it's 20-19. This was one of the more memorable parts of the game. Then of course Philadelphia so then of course Philadelphia Soul, they scored a field goal. And brought the score up to 22. Then the same guy scored another touchdown to bring the score up to 29. So now it's 29-25. Then of course Tampa Bay Storm. Tampa Bay then of course then of course then of course Tampa Bay Storm, they scored and brought the score up to 31. Then of course the So they scored and brought up to 43. Tampa Bay Storm, they got some more points and a field goal and scored it up to 30, bringing it up score up to 38. Then of course, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, I mean Philadelphia scored. They scored again, bring the score up to 49. So like I said, just kept going back and forth. It kept going back and forth. Then of course, the game finally ended, and here was the big thing. Tampa Bay Storm managed to score and bring their score up to 52, while Philadelphia Soul managed to score and bring their score up to 56. Managed to score another touchdown and bring their score up to 56. 56. And right here, Tampa Bay Storm, they were actually about to win. All they needed was a touchdown. All they needed was a touchdown and to let the time run out, and they would have won. Let the time run out in the fourth quarter, and they would have won. But their their touchdown, their touchdown was rejected and ruled an incomplete, ruled an incomplete. And when the game ended, and when the game they played the rest of the game, the time ran out, and the Philadelphia Soul won and the Philadelphia Soul won in overtime. Won in overtime. Like I said, an awesome competitive game. I wouldn't mind seeing this again. I also wouldn't mind seeing this game because these guys are now fierce rivals. It started off friendly competition, but as one of the players who was interviewed said, as the game became more intense, became more competitive, there was some trash talking and problems between the two teams. So because of the rivalry and because of how competitive this game was, I wouldn't mind seeing it again to see who the real winners were, because they did get robbed of that incomplete. That incomplete changed the tide of this changed the tide of this game. Changed the tide of this game because, like I said, all Tampa Bay Storm needed was another touchdown, and they would have won. They would have won. The time would have ran out. They would have won. So yeah, like I said, awesome game, man. Extremely competitive game. That's one of the things I love about arena football is how extremely competitive it is. How extremely competitive it is. Like I said, just because you start off winning, just because you get the lead and start off, doesn't mean you're gonna win. The teams, they're gonna catch up, man. And it's easier to score in this game because of how small the field is. Then these players are smaller and more athletic, so they move even faster than some of the players you see in the NFL, even though you have much better athletes in the NFL now. So, yeah, and let's talk more about the Arena Football League. And see, I'm happy to be one of the only people on YouTube who's going to be talking about the Arena Football League. But I wish Arena Football League, see, this is what actually got me out of football when I was younger. When I was younger, I was a huge fan of the Vikings, Colts, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons. Still enjoy these teams today. However, none of these teams are like my top teams, like teams I won in the Super Bowl, teams I won in the Super Bowl. I watch a couple of season games, a couple of normal games with these guys, but no championship games. I don't want these guys near any major championship games. Championship games. I was a fan of these teams who, my opinion, all these teams, kind of, except for the Indiana Colts, and even the Indiana Colts, they suck in Super Bowls. Their Super Bowls be boring as hell. And then seeing this brand new football league with better team franchises, better arenas, better everything, smaller but better arenas, better everything, and seeing how cool this arena football league was, and seeing how this would never grow or be bigger than it was. It was at its biggest in the 2000s, in the late 90s, 2000s, but it would never be bigger than that. That turned me off the football for a while. I'm now watching everything I missed, watching and reading about everything I missed. It was Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, Tom Brady, and Tim Tebow of the New England Patriots, and Adrian Peterson of the Vikings who got me back into football full time. And now I'm going back reading and watching everything I miss. And now I'm hugely into football after the Patriots' historical win at Super Bowl 51 earlier this year. So yeah, but it sucks that most people don't watch this league right here, arena football, which I think is better. I've never really been a fan of the NFL. I've always liked arena football, CFL, Canadian football, and association football, which is practiced in Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and of course Mexico, where they call it football with a U, which of course that's the rugby and the soccer. Internationally, that's what they play internationally. But yeah, I love football, but I've never been an NFL fan. Anything from the '90s on to now is good, but pre '90s, it just wasn't all that good to me. Even though there were several players from those periods I do like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young and Terry Bradshaw, people like that. But yeah, wasn't that good back then. Wasn't that good back then. It's better now with smaller athletes, smaller, more athletic people, and technology, HD, which makes games even better. It looks like a game of Madden. But I'll talk more about NFL in another video. This is arena football, but it sucks that most people don't watch this. It's plays during the off season of normal football. Normal football is over with up until August of this year. There's the draft coming up, but that's over up until August. Arena football is now. Sucks most people don't watch. Most people don't watch this, but yeah, arena football, awesome, man. Actually, arena football in every way, is my opinion, is better than NFL football. The only thing NFL has is ratings and star power and bigger crowds. Love the stadiums of arena football, and I love the smaller, enthusiastic crowds. However, I hate seeing so many empty seats at shows, man. I hate seeing so many empty seats, but that's the only thing NFL has over arena football. And let's talk more about the Arena Football League, the controversy. Of course, Arena Football League, it hasn't been good for them. They've lost most of their teams to the other two leagues. Some of them, like their major franchise, the San Jose SaberCats, have went defunct shortly after the 2015 Arena Bowl, which they won. I hope they come back in the future with a brand new roster or several members from the same roster, since Tom Grady of the Jacksonville Sharks, who were formerly of the Arena Football League, now play in the National Arena League, started up last year. Tom Grady, the quarterback for the Jacksonville Sharks, he's also playing for the Washington Valor at the same time, simultaneously, while playing for both teams. Then you got what's the other dude's name? What's that other dude's name? What's that other dude's name? What's that other dude's name? Yeah, hope they come back with a brand new roster or with several members from the same roster, since a lot of their players are free agents now. So yeah, I hope the San Jose SaberCats come, which brings to my next thing. Arena Football League only has 5 teams. I hope this year is profitable and a rated success, so you can get more money to create more team franchises, add more teams, maybe even bring back the SaberCats. If not, then I also want them to do that. Then if they can't do that, then I want them to merge with the National Arena League and the indoor with the National Arena League or the Indoor Football League, since those two look like to be the future of indoor football, with things not going with the Arena Football League. But two things I like better about the Arena Football League over the other two leagues. While they don't have as many teams as the other two leagues, one thing they have over the other two leagues is how competitive, is that their league, the Arena Football League, even down to 5 teams, is more competitive than the National Arena League and the Indoor Football League. In the Indoor Football League, the Spokane Empire franchise and the Arizona Rattlers, who were previously of the Arena League and are now in the Indoor Football League, seem to be dominating everyone. It looks like they're going to win the big championship at the end. In the National Arena League, the Jacksonville Sharks have no competition. And they dominate every team they face, and it looks like they're going to win the championship at the end easily. The big championship at the end easily. Whereas the Arena Football League, despite having 5 teams, is competitive. I don't know who's going to win. I have my prediction for who's going to win a couple of season games, but I don't know who's going to win the big Arena Bowl at the end of this season in August. Then of course, sorry, seeing was at day. I hate my webcam during the day. It doesn't work during the day. Um, Yeah, so yeah, the Arena Football League is more competitive, and they're the only football league featured on television. The National Arena League and the Indoor Football League are streamed via YouTube. Arena Football League is live on CBS with a replay later that night. Yeah, yeah. Well, this was my review of the game between Philadelphia Soul and Tampa Bay Storm. All right, I'm done.